Another thing that happened, I had my hair in an Afro. They had a limit on how long your hair could be. It could not be past your shoulders. Well, my hair was probably about that long, but it was all curled up, and I had an Afro. And I could wear my hair as long as I wanted. And everybody said, "How do you get away with having your hair that long?" It's not below my, it's not a touch of my shoulders. But I was sitting in at a choral university chorale class. It was because it was co-ed. I went for all the co-ed stuff like tennis and badminton and that kind of stuff. And I was sitting there, and I felt someone touching my hair. And a little while later, I felt it again. I turned around. I said, "What would you like to marry me so you can touch my hair all you want?" I'd say stuff like that. Or I'd say, "Do you want to marry me because I need someone to darn my socks?" And smart-alecky things like that. And turned out we got to be pretty good friends. And I took her on some dates. And one time, she lived in the Heritage Halls, and the Heritage Halls, they were like 2 or 3 stories. I think they were just 2 stories. And the girls were in apartments off the side, and the common room was in the middle. And so I had been up to the Q halls, and I called her and said, "Hey, do you want to do something?" I forget, we were going to go bowling or go to the other thing I like to do is develop film in the photography lab at the student union, because you get into that's the only place you could, in all BYU campus, you could be in a girl in the dark. There was lights everywhere else. So anyway, I called her from the phone in the bottom of Heritage Halls, and then I said, and I lived about 5 or 10 minutes walk away from there, and I called and said, and she knew that, and so I called her and said, "Do you want to go do this?" And she said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Okay, I'll be right up." She goes, "Okay." So then I went upstairs and knocked on the door. Well, she opened the door, and she had her curlers in and stuff, and she looked at me and she goes, "You tricked me, you were right here. I thought you were home," and she slammed the door. But later on, we went out and stuff, but later on, she called me. I called her one time to go out, and she goes, "No, I can't." And the other thing would happen, well, you call a girl, you're on the date, and then you call her back, and she'd say, "My parents are coming up, they're in town, I can't do it." So then a little bit later you call again, "Well, I just washed my hair," da-da-da-da. And I kept thinking, is she giving me an excuse? But they sound so good. It's really kind of irritating. Girls would always say, "Well, we have to wait for the boys to call," and boys would always say, "You don't know if they turn you down, if they're just not interested." Why don't they say that? Instead of trying to let you down easy. I don't need to be let down easy, I need to move on. So I called her and said, "Do you want to go out and do this?" She goes, "No, can't." "No, I don't want to." And I said, "Thank you." And she said, "What?" I said, "Most girls just say, give me an excuse. If they really don't want to go, they just give me an excuse. You told me you didn't want to go." And she goes, "Oh, okay." I said, "Yeah, I really appreciate that." She goes, "Well, that's different." And she goes, "Well, the reason I can't is because I have a boyfriend. I got a boyfriend since we last talked and stuff." So anyway, I said, "Well, if you ever break up with a boyfriend, give me a call, let me know." So, but we were still friends even years later. She wrote me a couple times when I was on my mission, actually.